Hi, I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm an autistic adult, but I'm also a college graduate, a local producer. I am also a Special Olympics athlete who succeeded in many ways than one. I'm also here to talk to you about people with disabilities like me who had their tough times but have also succeeded in their life, and the people who helped them. My show, Andrew's Community Connection. Today I'm talking with people who have disabilities who've also succeeded in their life. With me today is Bobbi Joe.
Hi.
Oh, you're Bobbi Joe?
Nice to meet you.
What is your disability?
I have cerebral palsy from birth
When were you diagnosed?
when I was a baby.
What was your school life like with your disability?
I was in special education all my life, and then they would try to mainstream me from middle school to high school. That was okay, but I'd rather been back with my other peers just like me that had other disabilities, but I'm glad they pushed me in that direction because I want to learn more and be able to do what I can without being in a room with all day long, be able to mainstream from class to class.
Okay, that's good. Do you ever feel depressed with having a disability?
Sometimes when someone looks at me or stares at me or even says something wrong, I sometimes misinterpret it. Like they're talking about me or whatnot, and I just want to show them how I can succeed and keep going with or without that negativity that they are doing to us.
That's good. What do you say to people who don't understand people who suffer from disabilities?
Go out in the community and look at what we can accomplish, as if it's a new job or trying a new bus route or even doing one of your favorite hobbies.
Do you have a job?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
It's at Lower Shore Enterprises here in Salisbury, Maryland, and I do secretarial work, answering the phones and giving messages. I connect the phone calls to different rooms, and while I'm in the back working, I do a lot of bulk mailing, like Ocean City, and I fold and tab a lot of brochures.
Okay. What goal have you achieved that brings you here today, the Andrew's Community Connection?
I've been working on a book, and I wanted to get it published. So I went to my resource coordinator at United Needs and Abilities, and actually at that time my mentor had took me to Berlin, and I sat down with Saltwater Media, and they gave me a price range, and then my book took off from there. I've been to Third Fridays to sell it during the summertime down at Third Friday on the plaza. It's $10. You can still get a copy at saltwatermedia.com.
Okay. Can you show us the book?
Sure. It's this book right here. It's not that long, but it's a really good book.
Can you tell us what the book's about?
The book is about Mr. Swimerson being about to go on vacation, and he is struggling with his keys and visas in the floorboard. He's trying to rush out the door. The bathroom hinges fall off. The bathroom door falls off his hinges, and he's just trying to make his plane on time, which he actually misses. And then a friend comes up, and they get caught up laughing and giggling, and then you have to read the story for yourself. I don't want to give it away.
What would you say to uplift someone who has disabilities, who are depressed, or doesn't really know what to do?
I would tell them to keep flourishing and keep doing their dream, because you don't know how you could impact others by just smiling or getting out and doing different things. If you want to do it, try to do it best as you can. And sometimes you're going to have some issues, but go forth and flourish and be all you can do. Know that you can do it and you will succeed one day.
That sounds like a good, great positive message. Tell us, what were your rewards? How you got these rewards?
I was at a banquet that UNA holds every November, and they signify some of the clients that have great positive ways for that year. And I was one of the recipients, and I got a award for turning dreams into reality. By getting that award, I wrote a book and published it and sold it and did what I had to do. I want to let everybody know I was about something, and I really appreciate UNA.
And yes.
And I did not know I was getting that citation. The citation was supposed to come that night, but it was raining that night really hard. So Governor Larry Hogan did not come, and I was just sitting home one night, and my PC TJ called me, "You home?" I said, "Sure I am." "Well, I gotta come over, I gotta hand you something." He didn't tell me what it was. So when he got in my door, he hands me this big old folder, and I looked into it. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And I read it. Some of it was hard to read, but so he read it, and I like, that is a very big deal. I didn't know who really was behind it all until after the fact. I went to Michael's to get a nice, expensive frame for it, but I wouldn't mess it up.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Bobbi.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yep. When we come back to Indra's Community Connection, we will talk with another person with disabilities. I'm Andrew Thomas, and I'm here to talk about people with disabilities. As myself, I'm autistic. So here with me is Cody Drinkwater.
Hi.
Hello. Can you tell us what you do?
Yeah, I'm the regional self-advocacy specialist for the regional office here in Salisbury, and my job is to provide education, for those who have disabilities, basically how to better self-advocate for themselves, and I provide outreach for the Eastern Shore. I go all over the place, and I'm also in the process of creating trainings and programs to help promote awareness of self-advocacy.
That's good. What is your disability?
I am on the autism spectrum to myself, I was diagnosed 3 years ago, and yeah, so.
How was your school life with your disability?
My school life was actually pretty good. I mean, I was homeschooled, like for the consistent part of middle school and high school. I mean, it was actually all over the place, honestly. Like in elementary school, I went to public school. In third grade and fourth grade, I was homeschooled. I went back to elementary school in fifth grade, and then for like sixth, seventh, I was homeschooled again. Eighth, I went to a private school that my mom taught at, and then I also started going to community college as well as being homeschooled. So my education is a mix, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, honestly.
Have you ever felt depressed with having a disability at all?
Yeah, I mean, my disability was undiagnosed for many years. So there was a number of instances where I didn't really know what was going on, and like in my social life, and I always felt different at times than everyone else, and like my processing is a little slower than some people. And if I'm in high paced situations that are like really fast, I have a hard time keeping up. So that affected the jobs that I've had before this one, and it affected a multitude of things in my life before I was diagnosed as kind of being on the spectrum. Yeah, so it definitely, it definitely affected me. It definitely influenced me and some of my behaviors. So.
What would you say to people who don't understand people who suffer from disabilities?
I would say that they should try to learn as much as they can, and should try to put themselves in their shoes. And yeah, I mean, I also think there's like a stigma that people have of people with disabilities because they don't understand, and the stigma is like worldwide. I mean, I was doing research like a few months ago because I was in the process of writing an article on disability. I've actually published a couple articles in the Salisbury Star, and I've realized that like there's some countries where they view people with disabilities as like a curse, and it's a very backwards mentality, and they aren't treated right. So it's a global kind of stigma, and I would just encourage people to like educate themselves, to be more aware, and I definitely think that what DDA is doing is awesome in bringing awareness to, a multitude of different disabilities.
How do you want to be treated with people who come across you every day?
I want to be treated, I mean, just like anybody else would want to be treated. I mean, essentially. I mean, I think I've honestly been like luckier than most in the context that like my disability isn't physical, and I say that like in the context that I feel like if you have physical disability, the stigma is worse. So I consider myself like lucky just in that context, like fortunate, maybe not lucky. I consider myself fortunate, but I mean, yeah, there's definitely been times where, I come off as slow, or I come off as, maybe like I don't process things on the same level, or yeah, and I think that, I think that I definitely would want to be people to be more understanding, and yeah, just treat me no different than they would treat like their friend or so.
What goal have you achieved today that brought you here today to Inner's Community Connection?
I've achieved like a lot of goals in like a very short amount of time. Like, and I say that just in context of like after I graduated from college in 2012, like, and after I became aware of my disability, like I realized that I realized that like there was a lot of things I needed to do. First of all was to get my license, and I had to really push like really hard for that because there were some individuals in my life that didn't think I should drive, and so I had to self-advocate for myself in that degree. Getting a job coach helped a lot. That's how I got the current job I have, and my job coach is wonderful. Her name is Mary Muller, and she's wonderful. She's helped me so much. Getting into self-direction was also great too, and I actually got into self-direction along the same time that I got the job at the Central Regional Office, and having staff members essentially like work to support me to kind of help me become better like at budgeting, finance, even giving me a consistent kind of schedule with like working out and stuff like that. So just having those supports in place really helped improve my quality of life. So yeah, I mean, I feel since I got this job, I mean, not only like the job, but also just like, the supports have definitely made me a happier person and kind of have a better life right now. So
That's good. What skills have you learned for over the course of your life?
after the course of my life, that's a big question, Andrew. Um, uh, my most recent skills, I guess, are patience. And I've always been pretty compassionate, but I would say, like, working with people with disabilities, especially since I've had disabilities myself, I've had to become even more compassionate. Um, and so I mean, that's been helpful. And um, yeah, I mean, you know, determination too. I would say kind of. I would say I've grown more determined in the last few years to sort of like live the life I kind of want to live. And that's been something that's developed over many years. But I mean, even with my job, like, you know, if I want to set up a program, if I want to set up a goal, um, going through like the right channels, the right paths, the right hoops, to kind of accomplish that goal. Determination is definitely helpful. Because sometimes it's not as easy as being like, oh, I want to accomplish this. There's sometimes processes and channels you have to go through. So some people, it's not helpful to say I want to accomplish this and then run into an obstacle and be like, nope, I'm done. That's not going to solve anything. So, yeah, for me, I've definitely had to be determined.
All right. What would you say to help uplift someone who has disabilities who are really depressed and don't know what to do?
I would say talk to people in your life that support you and that love you, for one thing, and that two, also learn to push yourself, because I mean, I found that individuals with disabilities sometimes don't know how to because their environment is such that at times they're told they can't do certain things, that they feel like they believe that, and so thus they don't push themselves. But if you push yourselves, you'll find out you can do it. You are capable. You're as capable just as anybody else, and that you don't believe that negative voice in your head that says you can't do it. So that's what I would say.
Thank you for being here, Cody.
No, thank you very much.
And we'll be back. Thanks for watching Andrew's Community Connection. I'm Andrew Thomas.